cards, things like that. Guys, if I was going to be biased to my former team, DDS New Wave, I would not have given them Mika Galvao. I gave them Mika Galvao, who, in my opinion, is the #1 grappler in the world. If I had any stake in a personal hatred for them and I was invested in them losing this event, I would not have given them Mika Galvao. I want to make that abundantly clear. Also, they did complain about Atos receiving 2 wildcards, so what did I do? Gave everyone 2 wildcards. Which team then took a second wildcard? Wagner Hosha. Now, address the perceived controversy of CJI2.
What a
So guys, first and foremost, there was no bias shown
we're back.
in the lead up to the event whatsoever. The wild cards.
I'm an anonymous donor, but they pay me 15 per cup.
Wild cards, things like that. Guys,
what are you donating, bro?
if I was going to be biased to my former team,
Gianni Grippo.
I would not have given them Mika Galvao.
Once you go YouTube Premium, there is no going back. Yeah, not when I'm watching videos all the time.
#1 grappler in the world. If I had any stake in a personal hatred.
Hopefully the stream doesn't go down, everybody. I ain't got the Craig Jones approval for this live stream.
Galvao. I want to make that abundantly clear. Also, they did complain about Atos receiving 2 wildcards, so what did I do? Gave everyone 2 wildcards. Which team then took a second wildcard? Wagner Hosha. Now, to explain the brackets, which some people complained about, 2 teams in the entire tournament had 2 wildcards, Atos and New Wave. So it was, in my opinion, the most fair option to put them on the same side of the bracket. What did I do in return for that? Well, I asked John Danaher who the 4th seed was. In my opinion, it would have been Australia or Daisy Fresh. John gave a summary of each, and he thought Daisy Fresh was the 4th seed. Instead of putting Daisy Fresh in the bottom position, I gave B Team first round, who John Danaher thought was the perceived 4th seed. Obviously the top 3 seeds, B Team, Atos, New Wave. If you use 2 wildcards, you're on the same side. And I gave each of those teams, Atos and New Wave, the lowest seeded teams, which was the Americas, and it was Team Europe. On the other side, B Team, first round, give them Daisy Fresh, who John Danaher thought was the 4th ranked seed. And then obviously we had Team Australasia and 10th Planet in the bottom. That is my justification for the bracket. Had New Wave not utilized the second wildcard, which in my opinion is a massive advantage, 2 wildcards, that would have changed how I bracketed it. So there is no bias in the bracket at all. I made that shit hard for B Team. New Wave, again, and I cannot emphasize this enough, were given Mika Galvao by me. Massive, massive advantage. Now, let's talk about why we use the 10-point must system. The 10-point must system rewards dominance and submission attempts. We use that so that it's not just match 1, match 2, match 3, win to this team, win to this team. We don't want people to coast to victory. We want to reward people for trying to dominate and finish their opponents, right? Everyone's confused because they were like, wait a minute, if we go to the final, New Wave won 3 matches, B Team won 2. Well, guess what? In a UFC title fight, you can win 3 rounds and still lose the fight. If you win 3 rounds by 10-9 and lose the next 2, 10-8, you lost the fight. You don't get to go there and say, well, I won 3 rounds. No, you lost the fight. If you win the first 3 rounds 10-9, you then win a 10-8, then you win a 10-9, well then you have a 47-47 scorecard. We did this again so that you would push the pace, try to dominate, and most importantly, try to submit your opponent. If your opponent was difficult to submit, we wanted you to be rewarded. The only caveat to that was if there was a massive size discrepancy, which did occur, the maximum amount you could win by would be a 10-9. I didn't want a Victor Hugo against a Diego Pato, where Diego literally potentially too small to do anything. Not saying he couldn't have a chance of victory, but I didn't want that to be too unfair. So I wanted that to be limited at a 10-9. We added that rule in. That was probably the only rule I changed at any later date, and that was still added very, very early. Now let's talk about the tiebreaker conditions, right? So CJI 1, we did 3 5-minute rounds for regulation periods. What I didn't want people to do was go out and win the first 2 clearly 10-9, and we did open scoring in that, so you would know you were up 2 rounds. I did not want you to be able to coast to victory in the last round and not care. If you got 10-8'd in the last round, that, my friends, is a draw. And the tiebreaker condition in a draw scenario is that the last round wins. Everything I did in shaping, molding the rule set for this event.
Mushmash says that point system would have resolved all of this.
Get up in a perceived way and then coast to victory. We wanted to weight the last round heavy. Again, that precedent was set at CJI 1. The tiebreaker condition, all the coaches understood this from the very first meetings. It was always the case that we would do an accumulation of scores that would be revealed at the end. In the scenario at CGI 2 of Atos versus Europe, they didn't come out and say Andre Galvão wins 4-1. No, they read the scorecards. Each judge read the scorecards, their scorecards. They had to judge each round according to the 10-point must system. The 10-point must system is moot. It's useless if it's just match by match, or had we done that at CGI 1 round by round. That is the reason the 10-point must system was in there. And the reason the tiebreaker condition was applied to CJI 2 was it is a team event. Each match is a round, like a UFC title fight. So you can obviously win 3 rounds in a team series and still lose or go to a draw. Again, I cannot emphasize this enough. When Team Atos beat Team Europe, which was 5 double eliminations, we announced the cumulative scorecard. We did not announce 4-1. So for everyone confused in the final, and I understand there's a lot of personal tension and people think there's perceived bias, whatever. New Wave won 3 of those rounds, but according to the scorecards, which Miha is going to explain why he scored it the way he scored it. He's going to justify whatever, well not everyone, but a lot of people think, oh, there's something fishy go on there. There were coaches like John Danaher was instrumental in the rules meetings. He was instrumental in changing some of the rules, such as when you'd be penalized starting in a half guard position. John Danaher understood the rules. John Danaher coached GSP in many title fights. He understands the 10-point must system, I would say, better than any of the other coaches in this entire event because of his history with the UFC and his history in 5-round title fights. The tiebreaker condition was obvious and understood by all the coaches. And in the tiebreaker condition is that last round is very, very important. As Lachlan Giles suggested in his video, that's why you put an anchor at the end in a close team series, because the last round,
we gotta watch Lachlan's
in the event of a draw
video too,
will decide which team wins or advances. Now, Miha is going to explain to you why he scored, and not just him,